Hey guys, how's it going? James here from Butler Farms on a hot December day. It is way above where it should be even here in Alabama, but we got some cold weather coming, some wet weather coming. So I'm gonna get ahead of a little project I have to do every year, and most people would consider this a problem, something to dread. I don't. You know that we reuse everything that we have around here. We use as many of permaculture techniques as we can, and so what you see out here in front of me is not a problem. But as Billy from up at Permapastures Farm says, the problem is the solution. Now you know that in some of my previous videos I've shown you how I do my leaf mold, where I just cut it up and pile it up and turn it every so often, leave it out in the woods, and I use it around plants. I use it for just free organic fertilizer. I'm gonna do something a little bit different with this. I need it a little bit quicker than what that takes place. So I've got a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna run over it with the lawnmower. As you can see, these are big oak leaves, and you can see with the size of my hand, that's not something that I really want to pack around some plants, but I got some plants that I'm trying to overwinter, and to keep that, not only to keep the early spring weeds from popping up in them, but also to give them a little bit of protection from frost, and to you know, with these broken down leaves, it's going to provide a lot of fertilizer, a lot of food, a lot of nourishment for them. And again, you know, as Billy says, the problem is the solution, and we use what we have here on hand, and obviously we've got a lot of leaves to be able to use. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'll come back with you after we get through and show you what I've done with them. Alright guys, I'm back here with you, and as you can see, I'm not in the yard right now. I'm up at the shop. I'm been waiting out a little rainstorm. We're supposed to have some rain come through tonight with the cold weather behind it. This little warm snap we've had, it's been hot. It's been humid, as I said in the first part of this, but the cold's coming, so I wanted to kind of get ahead of this. And so let's talk a minute about the leaf situation that I got out here that most people would think is a problem and a headache. And I know a lot of people that have, you can see in our yard we have big oaks, big hardwood. Now we have a lot less than we used to, obviously from the storm that we've had that came through and took several of them down. But I don't see it as a problem. I see it as a solution to a problem, and that is, I need a source of fertilizer. I need a source of mulch. And this is just one more way that we can use what we have here on the homestead to be able to do that. And I'm sorry about the noise in the background. Some of my neighbors obviously are trying to get some things done too before this rain sets in for good tonight. I think we're going to get a little bit of break here in a minute. But a lot of people, you know, as soon as the first leaf starts hitting the ground, they start cutting it up and shredding it. I don't. I let most of them fall. Most of them are off the trees now. It took them longer than normal this year, but we've had some good winds come through the last couple of days and have kind of stripped the rest of them off there. And the reason that I wait is because I want the leaves to use. I don't want to just chop them up and fertilize the grass, even though there's a lot of it still out there. As you can see, even though I've already cut up and I've already moved the leaves that I'm going to actually use, and you can see the wheelbarrow there, that's going to a leaf mold pile that I've started down in the woods. I have lost count how many of those I have taken down in the woods, and this will not be the last time that I cut these this year. I'll have to go back over them again. So there's going to be plenty left over to fertilize the grass, and I like to do that. That's a natural form of fertilizer, but I also use it as mulch for some of my some of my vegetables and especially my fruit trees. Now with my blueberries, I can go back up here behind where I am now in this pine thicket, and early every spring or late winter, when I do my pruning on my blueberries, I go ahead and put a good layer of pine straw around it. You know, I've shown you in the past how I also use organic fertilizer that will also acidify the soil. Blueberries like that. I don't normally use pine straw around my other fruit trees and bushes and things like that, because they don't have to have the acid. And I know there's a big debate on whether pine straw actually does it or not. I just use it because that's what I have, and I know that in a pine thicket the soil is going to be more acidic. So, you know, I put those together and just go with it. So, but with the leaves, it's just a resource that we have here in abundance that I don't want to lose. I don't like to use synthetic fertilizers. I don't like to put chemicals on anything that I have here, and I know at least these leaves here, I know, again, I don't put chemicals on the yard. I don't put chemicals on the tree, so I know that they're safe to put around some of my bushes, some of my plants. And I also know I did a video good ways back on leaf mold, where I use a slow method. I know other people have other methods, and I plan to do another video on that here in the near future this winter on leaf mold. But I use a slow method where I pile it up, and when I think about it, I'll go down there with a big pitchfork and turn it and those kind of things, let it rot down. And I've used all of that up. I'm making another pile now, and I'll use that. I'll spread that on different things this coming spring after it breaks down a little bit, and it will become a natural fertilizer for my plants, for my garden, things like that. You know, I don't really get into the specifics of it. I know it's worked for me. It does wonderful things for my plants as it breaks down, and where I use leaves, I see more life in the soil. When I turn the soil over, I can see more life in it, of things breaking those leaves down. I see more worms and all the things that I want in my soil. So it looks like we're going to get just a few minutes break. Just now stopped, so I'm gonna walk right over here and show you where I put some of those. Now, right up here from my shop, you know, this was an area that I've been trying to clean out, and I'm gonna work on it again this winter, getting these brush tops down. You can see I've cut some more chunks off this big tree, and I'll tote those on back toward the fence line, because at some point I want all of this to be in production. It's a good flat place. It's open to a lot of morning sun through most of the day, so it's going to get plenty of sunlight here, and I can do a lot of different things with it. But this part up front, as you know, is my strawberry patch, and this was something new that I started this year. This is my wife's family land, and when I came on the scene almost a quarter century ago, her great-grandfather had strawberry beds, and they were kind of going out. They hadn't been tended to in a couple of years as he got older, and so I always wanted to bring strawberries back. Now you can see this is all that new cut up leaves that I just put in here, and you saw a while ago how big those leaves are, and I went over them several times and shredded them up. So what this is going to do, this is going to break down. This soil up here is not especially good. You can see all the little green tops of the strawberries poking out. These leaves make them stand out, and that's what I was trying to do, is give them a little bit of protection from the cold that's coming through the winter, and also give them some nutrition. There's about an inch, maybe 2 inches of these chopped up leaves that I've put around these strawberries all the way up through there. They're strawberries. And so I've tried not to cover them up completely. I don't know that it would hurt. I think they would probably pop back through there, but just to give them a little bit better chance in the spring, I left them open. Now, one other thing that I noticed, and this has nothing to do with leaves, let me walk you over here real quick. I was out here looking the other day, and I saw this ant bed out here, and I don't know if you can tell, it's rain, so it's kind of softened that print there. But the other day you could really tell it. That is a deer print, and you can see we are right next to my house. That's how close they come in here. And so I got to looking at my strawberry plants, and I couldn't figure out why the deer would be up in here, because as you can see, it's just a brush top in there. There's nothing in there for them to eat. And I got to noticing that these runners have been bitten off at the end. So that's my only explanation. I know that's a deer track, and I know when I was cutting up the leaves that I found evidence of deer being between where I just walked from the shop to where I am now. So they're this close to the house, looking for a free meal, and you know, I love deer, and I love having them around, but if they continue to eat my strawberry plants, given the chance, probably put one or more in the freezer out my back door, if you know what I mean, and kind of cure that problem at least for a little while. But yeah, that's what I'm doing with it. Like I said, it's about 1 inch to 2 inches worth of leaf there. Now over in that area there's no strawberries yet, but that is an area that's hard for me to keep the grass out of. I have to weed eat it. I weed eat it all the way to the ground. I've tried to pull it, dig it, everything else. So what I'm going to try to do is even thicker over there, and I'm going to try to kill that grass off around these edges up through here, so that I don't have to keep fighting that. And maybe, just maybe, the strawberries will stand a chance then after the grass is dead, and they can move on up into there too. You can see the little red leaves there in the middle of the screen. That's a blueberry bush. That's one of them that actually made it. So, you know, here in a couple of years, I hope that we got some blueberries there. The one over here to my right, it didn't make it. It's kind of hard to make it when you're tired and you're running a weed eater, and you get a little excited and chop the blueberry bush down, but it may come back. We'll see. I've got some more to move, both from my dad's house and from some of mine, to just stick in places like this. And then you also have some like this that had a good opportunity. There is a little bit of life left in that. You can see that part of it's dead, but out here it's still growing, so they can come back. They can, you know, you think they're dead and you're going to dig them up and replace them and that kind of thing. Give them a chance and see. I've got blueberry bushes all over this area up here that didn't look like they were going to stand a chance, but they've been able to come back. So just wanted to share that with you. You know, if you've got a resource like what I have here, and I know some people don't, if you don't have a lot of hardwood trees in your area or on your property, if your neighbor does and they bag them and put them out at the street, and you know, just for the city to pick up, and you know, that's a free resource. I don't think, I can't imagine anybody caring that you stop and pick them up. And you can chop them up with whatever you have. The more you chop them up, the more that they're going to, the faster they're going to break down. And so you know, that resource is there, and you know, it's available, it's organic, it's using what you have available. Like I mentioned in the first part of this video, you know, I've told y'all before about Billy up at Permapastures Farm, and one thing that he says all the time, I don't know that he coined the phrase, but he uses it all the time: the problem is the solution. The problem that I have is my yard is covered in about 4 inches of leaves that are as big as my hand, that will end up getting matted. They will end up being a mess and end up killing my yard. Well, I've been out here a couple of hours, and now I've turned them into something that can help my homestead. Not only will my yard benefit from having some leaves chopped up in it and rotting down, but now I can also use it for other plants. And it goes back also to some things that I've shared with you from Harmon Homestead, that, you know, with her gardens that she's put around her house and stuff, you use what you have. You use what you have available. You know, with a raised bed, instead of going and buying a bunch of stuff, what did she have? She had a bunch of little pines and stuff like that were in the wrong place, didn't need them. They were just kind of in the way, so she used those, cut those down, and made them into raised beds. It's all about seeing what you have and how it can be used on your place, whatever that may be, and then putting it to the best use possible. So you know, that's if you've got them, use them. It's a free resource. Just takes a little bit of work to chop them up. You don't want to put them on their whole, obviously, because once it rains a couple of times, they're going to be matted, and it'll just be a mess, and they won't hardly ever rot down like that. You can go in the woods and go down to bare dirt and see leaves that have been in there a long time, and they're still just as look just the same as they did as the day they fell. So make sure you chop them up, make sure you use them. It's a wonderful resource. It's a wonderful form of free fertilizer. It's organic. It checks all the boxes for what I'm trying to do here. All right, guys, didn't plan to go that long. Looks like that cloud over there is going to catch me if I don't get this done. Guys, it's almost Christmas, and so as we get ready to wrap up this year, I probably will do another video or two before the end of the year, but if I don't, and especially if I don't do it before Christmas, I just want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas. This is my favorite time of the year. I know it would seem like spring would be, but I've always loved Thanksgiving to Christmas, and especially what it means, family time and those kind of things, but especially remembering that a Savior came to us in the form of a baby and provided the salvation that we could never ever find any other way. So I just want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. I hope you get to spend a lot of time with them, and if I don't see you before the new year, I'll see you soon after. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. In this new year, we're going to try to continue to keep growing, and we have been growing, and that's all because of you. And every time you hit that thumbs up button, every time that you share one of these videos, and I've told you before, my technological skills are zero, but from what I understand, it changes my algorithm, whatever that means. I couldn't tell you, but long and short of it, it allows more people to see it. It puts it out there where more people can enjoy these videos and can hopefully get some benefit out of them, and that's what we're trying to do, and growing this channel is one way to do that. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'll see you soon. God bless. This is James from Butler Farms.